Food is something that everyone can relate about. You can bond with total strangers over food, and food can also be a medium for cultural representation. Filipinos especially love food, and they love sharing food. You can see a trend of Filipino restaurants popping up in different countries as the Filipino diaspora grows. And this seems like a soft power that the Philippines is subtly exporting. With this, let's explore some cultural elements that makes up the identity of the Filipino cuisine, specifically concepts that were formed before their independence as a country. First, the iconic local eateries, the carinderias and panciterias. If you are a student or entry-level worker, you'd probably be familiar with these types of restaurants. In this painting by Jose Honorato Lozano, published in a series of prints in 1847, you can picture how a carinderia operates. There are open pots and pans where you can choose viands from, then you ask the ate for how many cups of rice you'd want. You can have your meal at the tables that they provide, or have it to go for convenience. It was simple and easy. Now, the history of the carinderia is unclear, but some experts believe that the carinderia was first developed in 1764 during the end of the British occupation of Manila. The Indian natives that were brought by the British deserted their colonizers and assimilated into the local community by marrying Filipino wives and enterprising what was available to them. But it wasn't until the early 1800s that the carinderia became a mainstay in Filipino food culture. This was because of the convenience, variety, and accessibility that they offered. Vendors, carriers, tramps, and the cigarreras were some of the customers you'd see eating here. Panciterias are somewhat similar to the carinderia. The difference is that the panciteria is the place where you'd get Chinese food. The name panciteria comes from the word pancit, which translates from Hokkien to something along the lines of convenient food. They were kind of the original fast food restaurant. If you've ever read the novel El Filibusterismo by Dr. Jose Rizal, there is a whole chapter where students are eating at a panciteria, engaging in friendly banter and social discourse. Next up is merienda. Merienda in the Philippines is a snack that you have twice a day, in between breakfast and lunch and dinner. Countries from Southern Europe commonly practice this. An example would be the British afternoon tea. Being a colony of Spain, this part of our culture came from Spanish influence. Merienda food is often a single dish paired with a drink. It may be something portable like pan de sal or eaten off a bowl like pancit mami. I remember that during my elementary school days, I would get dismissed at 3 in the afternoon and my mom would buy me fishbowl or banana cue for merienda. Everyone in the Philippines has merienda, no matter what social class you are in, and I think this is because of the climate in the country, where it gets so hot during the middle of the day and in the afternoon. You'd get so tired from working, and merienda will serve as your pick-me-up to boost your energy so that you can continue on with your day. Some offices even have designated merienda breaks for their employees. What makes Filipino merienda more unique is the variety of food options you have. Provinces would have their own merienda specialty like champorado made with chocolate from Bohol, pancit molo from Iloilo, and puto from Calasiao. There are also both hot and cold options like arroz caldo or halo-halo. Sweet food, salty food, savory food, pretty much every type of food is served for merienda. These specific foods often become memories that you will cherish as you grow older. Having merienda is not just having a meal, but it's a cultural practice that's instilled in every Filipino. Rich or poor, you definitely have wonderful memories of eating merienda. Last but not least, the fiesta. The pre-colonial Philippines is no stranger to large banquets and feasts. Datus and maharlikas would often have week-long shindigs prepared with food and entertainment for one whole village. But with Spain's Inquisition came religious conversion. They made the original fiesta into a more organized party and a celebration of Christianity. It became their tool to disseminate the Spanish faith, values, and way of life. In these fiestas, priests wore their splendid robes, statues of saints were decked with colorful gems, food and flowers were abundant, and there were even lively sounds of marching bands. They're definitely an event of extravagance and gaiety. We Filipinos might describe it with a more familiar term, bongga. Now, there are food staples that are always being served in fiestas, such as the also famous lechon, pancit, kakanin, inihaw na bangus, and more. The best thing about this celebration is that anyone can come and enjoy the festivities for free. Most houses open up to serve their friends Filipino food, but sometimes even strangers are invited. I think that the fiesta is best described by Florentino H. Ornedo, a Carlos Palanca Memorial Awards for Essay winner and former Ateneo professor. He cited that the fiesta endures in this country precisely because it is rooted in the communitarian and expressive instincts of human nature. It is a durable venue for Filipino culture and expressions, and is a symbol of Filipino sense of community. More importantly, Ornedo sees the Filipino fiesta as a cultural anchor, helping the Filipinos define their national character. It is to this small community that is annually recreated by the fiesta that he goes home to renew his identity and sense of belonging to a home and familial village. Filipino food culture is all about sharing and making memories, be it an everyday meal or an extravagant celebration. The Filipino instinct is to form communal bonds through food. And even way back before the Philippines got their independence, they had already developed this cultural identity and welcomed everyone who was willing to learn and share this experience with them.